that any way for a man to carry on? Do you think I want my loved one gone? Said I love you.
The Nigga Chronicles. So tonight we're gonna finish off of our story with Vaughn. Okay, tonight will be his third and final chapter, and then we're gonna introduce a new nigga in the mix, Alan. So I ended off with Vaughn that he sent me the text message and he said, you know, pack your shit up, bitch, because the world share is coming it down. Okay. Like I told you, the sheriff came. I was homeless overnight, got fired on his birthday, felt like God spit in my face and drop kicked me and was elbowing me in my ribs. So after that, let's just say shit got a little rough because, mind you, I had only been in Baltimore for like 6 months maybe. So, and I was just, you know, going to work and coming home. I really didn't have any friends or family here. I had family in PG County. I wasn't really talking to them like that or whatever. So the babysitter that my daughter had went to, me and her were actually like pretty cool. And she, you know, like I would talk to her about my problems and stuff with Vaughn. You know, she was kind of like a friend as well. So, you know, I told her what the situation was. It was actually at her house when I got the text message. So I was staying at her house for a little bit, and that didn't really work out. I don't remember how I left. Like I don't think I left on bad terms with her. But I just left, you know. I was like renting a room out somewhere. I was just kind of like bouncing place to place, okay, until I found this one other place. Oh God, and that's kind of like a whole nother story. I met baby daddy number 2 there. He's a nut job, but we'll get to that nigga later. So anyway, it was about 6 months later now. And in fact, I was celebrating my birthday in the room that I was renting from this girl. I ended up staying there quite a while and kind of like being friends with her family. That was a whole hot mess too. But so I was spending my birthday with baby daddy number 2. I had met him maybe like a month or 2 before. So me and his relationship was like still super new. You know, we were still getting to know each other. So you know, I think something was going wrong. I don't remember, but something happened and it was dampening the mood, because it was just one of them little turn up parties where, you know, some motherfuckers come over, everyone's getting, you know, fucked up. And I remember my best friend, well, we're not best friends anymore, that's another story as well, but my best friend at the time had texted me or called me or sent me a link to his page on Facebook or something. Like, I guess she'd been creeping on his page too, I don't know. And I remember she was like, girl, like, you gotta see this. And I went to his page, and this nigga was married. Okay, it had only been 6 months since our breakup, and you done married some whole another new bitch. So, I mean, now later, you know, our mutual friend that had called me, my daughter was in the hospital, and said, like, you know, he wants to break up with you. I remember later on asking her, like, well, was he cheating on me with her? Because one thing about this guy, that one thing's for certain, 2 things for sure, he wasn't just some cheater. You know, he wasn't one of those people that just, oh, I'm just sticking my dick in anybody. That's not the type of guy that he was, you know. So I just didn't get the feeling that he was cheating on me. I just never got that feeling. The whole time when I came out here, I went through his phone one time. It was like in the very beginning when I came out here. I didn't find anything, and he kept his phone number. I never went through his phone again, because I never got those vibes of him like I had to be in his shit like that or check on him like that, because I knew he was just, you know, pretty much doing the right thing as a man, then going to work, coming home, providing for his family. So I remember asking her, like, well, was he cheating on me with this bitch? And she was like, no, like, he genuinely met her after you. Everyone told him not to do it, and the nigga did it. You know what I mean? Like, just on some dumb shit, you know, he was young, whatever. So that shit, to find that shit out on my birthday, it hurt my heart. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like, it's one thing to find out your nigga done moved on. But that your nigga done moved on and got married after y'all were just engaged 6 months, it was a hard pill to swallow. And even though I was with somebody, it was nothing compared to marrying somebody else. Oh yeah, sorry, my titties sagging a little tonight. I ain't put no bra on for y'all motherfuckers. Fuck that. I had my bra on in my first 2 videos. At this point, we're fucking friends. So anyway, so I just remember that shit hit me hard. And even in my relationship with the guy I was with then, like, I think that there's just always that one person, and when you're with other people, you'll compare them to. Even if you don't know you're consciously doing it, like, it just may be any little thing, something they do, something they say, and you just may compare or just remember the other person. Like, maybe the person you're with will laugh, and then you'll just be thinking about that other nigga's laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was always going through those type of things, like when we weren't together, through all of our little in-between periods of us not dating. So that fucked me up. And so that was in 2013. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward 3 years. I never talked to him or anything. Nothing. In fact, one time I sent him this email, like blasting his ass, or sending my unconditional dying love for him again. I don't know which one it was, because either one or the other when we're not together. But I remember, I think he didn't even get the email. If he did, I wouldn't know, because when I'm sending him shit like that, we're not together, he just doesn't respond. So maybe he had made a new email by then. I think that's when Gmail was creeping up. Everybody got that shit. So anyway, so 2016 came. Now, the dude that I was dating at that time, around my birthday, when I found out Vaughn had got married, that became baby daddy number 2. Okay, and so I was pregnant at the time, and shit was just like super bad. It was really bad. And at that point, me and him, the baby daddy, weren't living together. He was doing some schooling program, living up with his mom about an hour away, but he only came to visit me once. I never seen him after that or whatever. So I remember I started getting in touch with Vaughn again. Like, I think I asked a mutual friend about him. Like, I always kind of like check in with her about him, like just make sure niggas alive, I guess. Just sometimes I just get curious about him. And so I checked in with her, maybe asked her a few questions, how he was doing, whatever. And she was like, just hit him up. So I did. I hit him up. And then things just took off from there. He hit me back next day or whatever, and it just became the friendship again. But there was like little things he would say, or just, I can't explain it, but it just be little signs that I felt like he still felt a little way about me, even if it was like the tip of a needle, like a little something was there. Now, he was with somebody, and he never complained about her or talked negative about her, like, but that's not the type of person he is. Like, if he was doing bad with some chick and me and him was talking, he wouldn't tell me. Like, I know how he is by now. So I remember everything was good, but those feelings just would flood back. And that's always how it was with him. Like, whatever he did, I could forgive it. It may take some time. Like, that time it took 3 years, but some way, somehow, like magnets, we would come back. And it was fucked up, because it's like, I'm pregnant with this other nigga's kid, and at the same time there was another nigga that was actually taking care of me while I was pregnant with this other nigga kid. Real good dude. He was a real good dude to me. He was never my boyfriend or nothing, but let's just say I found out he was taking care of other motherfuckers as well. And then, at the same time I'm talking to Vaughn, and those feelings are flooding up. Then I'm pregnant, so it's heightened by 100. So there were some hard decisions that I was going to have to make during that pregnancy, and it was going to affect my life greatly. And I was talking to him about it, and while he may not have been like, well, yeah, I would do the same thing, he definitely supported me, and he understood the situation. He supported me. He was in my corner. And so I was grateful for that. I had the baby, me and him were still talking. Okay. So After a while, I just always felt like the elephant is in the room and we're just talking in between this nigga's legs. And I just kind of got tired of it. And knowing him, he was never going to bring the situation up. It was just always going to be like, well, everything's good. I'm going to just sweep it under the rug, put the rug back, and we just go walk all over the rug. And we just going to act like this pile of dirt isn't under there. And after a while, I just couldn't take it anymore. So I asked him. One day I sent him a text. And I was just like, why did you do what you did to me? Why did you leave me homeless? Like, what did I do that was so bad to you that you felt like, I'm gonna get this bitch? Like, and I'm gonna get her good. I'm gonna hurt her, and I'm just gonna put her in this situation. And somehow he was gonna be satisfied from that. Like, I just wanted to know. And I mean, let me tell you, one time, maybe a few years ago, I don't know, some time ago, I was going through our old emails. And I was just really immature about a lot of stuff, like super duper immature. And I was just like, damn, that nigga really dealt with me, with stuff. Not saying I deserve any of that bullshit he did to me, but I definitely wasn't girlfriend or fiance of the year. And I didn't know how to be. Well, 21, 22, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I didn't know, you know what I mean? And so, I remember he was saying that he got himself into a little situation and he felt like I put him in that situation and somebody else did. That's the best way that I can explain it. So, but I'm 100% sure that I didn't put him in this situation. Not like 99.9, like 100. Like, I know. And I'm pretty sure deep down in his heart, he's 100% sure that I didn't put him in that situation. I think me and him both combined are 200% sure that another bitch did. Okay, so that shit really had got me mad because it's like, my nigga, why can't you just say you're sorry? I worship the ground you walk on. I kiss the bottom of your feet. Why can't you just be like, you know what? I fucked up. That's not something I should have did as a man. Regardless of if I wanted to be with you or not, or how I felt about you, I could have handled that situation differently. Oh my God, I would have been fine with that. Glory, hallelujah. We probably still would have been talking as friends till this day. So it just really hurt me because you just start to feel like you're just not worth it. Like, I feel like saying sorry is something that's hard to do, but at the same time, it's easy to do because it's just words. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying like cut off your pinky ring and then dedicate it to me. And I'm not saying do something fucking cut off 10 of your toes. I'm not asking you to do anything crazy. I'm just saying, can I get an apology for something that you did wrong to me? And Nick, I can apologize too. You know what I mean? But that's the part that just hurt me. Like, I felt like, oh, basically he said like, bitch, you're not worth. I'm not saying sorry to you. Like, bitch, fuck that. We gonna move on or we not. So that set me off. I sent him this 10 paragraph text telling him about himself. And in true Vaughn fashion, he responded with nothing. Nothing. He just, that was it. And maybe he ain't had nothing to say. Maybe he didn't know what to say, or my personal opinion, maybe he just didn't give a fuck. I never know how this nigga's feeling sometimes. So that was it. That was it, 2016. And niggas, at this point, it's almost 2018, and I haven't talked to that nigga since. And I believe he's still with the same woman that he was, with when we were talking in 2016. And it's funny because just last night, I had a dream about him. And not too long ago, maybe a few weeks ago, I had a dream about him. And every year, there's like this week or, like a string of 2 weeks where I just will dream about him periodically through the week. And then I won't for the rest of the year. And maybe it's because his birthday's coming up. I really don't know. But in the dream, the mutual friend, the one that told me he was breaking up with me or whatever, the hospital, the mutual friend was in it. And Vaughn was in it. And all these other people. And I remember we signed up for some trip. Like, I signed up for some trip in We all did. But I don't really know where we were going, but I knew it was on some like fun kind of party type shit, I guess. And so we get in this like bus, like a school bus, party bus type thing, I don't know. And they take us to this house. And I remember, shit, maybe it was a reality show. I don't know what the fuck we were doing. It was something with a bunch of people. We went to the house, and I remember from the house, we were going somewhere else. And we were like changing our clothes and shit like that. And like washing up in the bathroom and all that shit. And then I remember there was like this meeting place, like in the living room. You know, when people were done, they were just like lounging around the house. So I had saw our mutual friend there. Let's call her Melissa. Okay, and so, you know, I walked over to her. I was like, oh my God, hey, like, bitch, you're here too? You know, this is crazy. And we were just at like this little round table. You know, we're just standing up around it, like had our little drinks and stuff. And then I seen him across the room. I seen Vaughn. And he looked tall and black like he motherfucking is. And I remember his shirt was off. I don't know why, but his shirt was off. And whew, you would have forgot I was in a fucking dream, because those feelings, like, it's like I was in a dream, but, you know, I was thinking as if I was awake. Like, I haven't seen him in I don't know how long, and the last time we talked wasn't good. You know, I was cussing him the fuck out, rightfully so. And I was so nervous. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do when that nigga see me, or what he was gonna do. And so I turned to Melissa. I was like, bitch, this nigga's here? And so she was like, yeah, he signed up. So I remember he saw me, and he walked over, and he kind of had this smile on his face. And he, like, slyly, like, he was passing behind me, but it was a questionable pass, you know, like a sexual, I don't know. So, but he came up from behind me, and he was like passing me, and he was like, what's up, Ashley? So I was like, hey. And I just fucking started smiling, and I was fucking mad because I wanted to play it cool, and I was playing it so fucking uncool that it was clear that I was like happy as a fucking kid in a candy store that he was here, and the nigga wasn't even really there. It was an illusion. It was a fucking dream. And I remember then we all got back on that bus, and we went to wherever the fuck we were going. And me and him were like, when we got to the place we were going, me and him were talking a little bit, just little comments, but I felt that sizzle, that fire, like that little gleam of hope that some way, somehow the cosmos would bring us back together again. And Melissa was like, she would just be there too with us. And I remember he went outside and he has to go to the bathroom. Then I had asked to go, but I seen him with some girl. He was like kind of like dragging the girl, like she was walking, but he was kind of dragging her. And then I remember we went back into the little building, and I said something about the girl, and then he said, oh, something, that's why I fucked her in the bathroom. And I didn't even look at him. I just remember I said, you didn't fuck that girl. And I don't know if I meant to say it out loud, but he didn't say anything, but I could feel him smiling. And I woke up. And when I woke up, I was just like, damn. Because the last time I dreamed about him, it was around a group of people, some hotel party or something, and he was there. But I remember he hugged me. And when he hugged me, it just, like those feelings, like it just, the very best way I can describe it is good. It felt good. Like I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to go away or stop or be interrupted by anything or anyone. And that shit gets me, because I hate that shit, because it's like, I think we all have that one person that's done us wrong, but secretly it's like you don't even give a fuck what they did because they make you feel so good. You just want to be back with them, like at any cost, even if you know you may get hurt again. And I just don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel that way. Like, I don't want to feel anything for him at all. Like, I don't want to walk around hating him. But I think it would just always be that fear. Like, well, if we got back together, I mean, he would just end it again abruptly. And maybe this time I just really completely wouldn't know why. Like, I don't know. And even worse, maybe about a year after that whole thing with me and him was done, me and the girl that I was living with, that I had my little party at, a birthday party, we were going to this pawn shop. She wanted some rings. She was getting married or some bullshit. She said she wanted to look at some rings in a pawn shop. And when we went in that pawn shop, I saw my ring. And I lost it in that shop. And she had to drag me out. That's my ring. And I know it was my ring because it wasn't just like, oh, any little ordinary ring. I remember on the side it had these little, like, I think it had these little itty bitty gold hearts. There was something super distinctive about it. And it had these little itty bitty diamonds like on the side. And I remember one of the diamonds had fell out when me and him were together. So when I seen that ring and that little diamond that was missing, I knew it was mine. It was a unique ring. And I broke down and they were looking at me like, what the fuck? And I just was hurt. Like, damn, like, there's all my love right there on sale for $200, whatever. So that's it about Vaughn. That's the beginning, middle, and end of that. Moving on. Next nigga that we're gonna chronicle, his name was Brian. Now, Brian wasn't just any type of nigga. Brian was a white nigga. Okay, now I met Brian when I was in this little rehab program. I was going through like a little bump in the road in life. Okay, because that was after I went through my little whole phase, and let's just say it kind of ended with a big bang with my mom finding out and driving up to LA and causing a really big scene in front of police and me leaving with her. Okay, so when I had got back home and they were just like trying to figure out like what the fuck they were going to do with me, of course I was completely defiant against going, like, at all. But I had no choice, so I went. And I actually ended up glad that I went, because when you're in rehab it does give you a lot of structure. Because it's like you wake up in the morning at this, they wake you up at like 6 in the morning, okay? So they wake you up in the morning at this time, you eat breakfast at this time, you go to lunch at this time, group at that time, free time at that time. You're doing something every hour on the hour of the motherfucking day until it's bedtime, okay? And that provides structure. So I went to that rehab and I was like, got involved with this boy or whatever, like what happens at all rehabs when they're co-ed. And then I wrote him a letter, and they had already like warned us about talking to each other. They kicked both me and him out. He said he was going to come get me from my house in 3 days. I had never seen nigga again. So then I went to another one. I remember me and my mom were supposed to go on some trip, and then we had got into it, and I was like, I'm not going. And I found another rehab, and I went there. So this one was, when I say worse than the first one, like, this one was co-ed too, but I just feel like there was more trouble to get in. I can't explain why. Maybe it was just the type of people there. I don't know, but it just was a lot different than the first one. And I met Brian there. And Brian was a real addict in, the sense that he did have a substance where, no, I just can't stop doing this. Like, once I do it, I can't put it down. But, when you meet people in these programs and they're clean and then they get dirty, it's like once you've already got sucked in with how a person is for a while, it's kind of like when they go sour, you feel like, well, I just can't leave. Like, I got to roll through the punches with them. Now I know I don't have to do that shit. So everything was cool, me and Brian. It was a different experience. Me and his dad were really close. I loved his dad so much. And everything was really good. But the house, rehab, we call it the house, we live there, okay, had got infected with drugs. And I remember starting on the men's side. Somebody from the men's side had brought something in, and then the bitches that they were fucking with, they were giving it to them bitches, and then of course, it just spread like wildfire throughout the whole house. The house just became completely drug infested. And I wasn't part of that shit. I didn't even really know what was going on, to be honest, because I didn't do whatever the fuck was going around. And so I remember my friend was like, I think he's on some shit. And I'm like, no, like he's not. And they were like, bitch, I'm telling you. And the drug he did, he was a meth head. I had no experience with that. I never did it. That was just some white people drug, as far as I was concerned. And I didn't know like how people acted on it. I just didn't know. And so I just would think, we're all just going through some tough times. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't think that he's doing it, but he's living with other motherfuckers that are doing it. So I think that's just that denial shit. Deny it can't be true, right? So, and he was good to me. Like, man, that nigga had bought me all type of jewelry, $500 rings. That may not seem like much, like $500 ring. That's a lot when you're 21, 20. No, I was still 20. When you're 20 years old and you ain't never, that was a lot to me. And so, amongst other shit he had given me, and just, I used to like spend the weekends like at his dad's house. Like me and my mom would be beefing kind of hard all the time. And I remember, one time, like we would write each other little letters and shit. Same shit got me in trouble on the first one. We would write letters, and I had a pass to go out with my mom. I remember she had a doctor's appointment, and at the time my sister was maybe like 3, and my daughter was 1. And so we went out on this pass. I watched the kids or whatever while she went to the doctor. And when I came back, the head of the rehab, who was this bitch that just thought she was the hottest thing since Beyonce, and would always dress, she dressed real nice and snazzy, but bitch, you was a crackhead, okay? So stop fucking playing, okay? You wasn't all that hoe, okay? But that's how, to me, she always presented herself. Like, she always just gave off that little bit of air, like, I'm better than you Negroes. Like, okay, he was sucking dick for crack, but okay. So this bitch just had it out for me that day. I don't know why, but as soon as I walked in the door, she was like, yeah, we need to check your purse. Bitch, I just went on the pass to watch the kids, right? While my mom went to an appointment. And I wasn't one of those people in there that was like a troublemaker. I don't know if someone tipped her off or what, but somehow that bitch got some type of vibes about something. So do you know this bitch gonna put on her doctor gloves? When you snap the gloves and shit, putting on her gloves to go in my purse. Bitch, fuck you think is in there? Broken condoms? Like, so she goes in my purse and she finds that fucking letter. Man, I always had a problem holding on to some motherfucking letters. I couldn't just rip them and let them go and remember the little words in my head. And so I remember she was like, oh, like, ooh, she was happy as a motherfucker. She just was so happy she had something on me for whatever reason. So I remember she was like, no pass for you this weekend. Bitch. And my mom had needed me to watch the kids that weekend for something else. She was going to take some CPR class or something. So I remember, like, I was more scared of how the fuck my mom was going to react than whatever the fuck my punishment was going to be in the rehab. And so I remember she was like, I called my mom and I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to watch the kids this weekend. So she was like, why? And I'm like, they took my pass away. And she was like, why the fuck they take your pass away? So I don't remember what I told her, but it definitely wasn't that they found a letter from a nigga that's also in the rehab in my purse. I did it in some bullshit way. Like, yeah, I mean, the passions are just heating up here, and, things got found, things were lost. And, you know how these rules are. She was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? She went off and, of course, hung up on me. And we used to have car washes because it was like one of those non-profit. But that rehab was real fucking shitty because people had money on their books. Of course, my mom never dropped money off of me. I just had niggas give me money in there. But, and like, when you got a job, you had to come with your check, your whole check, so they can see your whole check. Don't even think about cashing that motherfucker. Okay, then you can cash it. Then you have to bring them back every cent like in the receipt showing like how much it was when you cashed it or whatever. They would put it on your books, and then at any time they wanted, they would just take your money off. They would take sometimes all of it. And then when they would have like a store run on Saturdays where you can go request money off your books, go to the store and buy your snacks and your cigarettes and all that shit, they'd be like, oh yeah, we had to take your money for the fees. Bitch, what you think this is Bank of America, bitch? You can't just be taking money out my motherfucking account talking about some motherfucking fees. But that's what they motherfucking did. Yeah, because they was real foul like that. The other place wasn't like that. And they were a non-profit too. But they were actually more worried about helping motherfuckers than having money. Okay? You're a non-profit. Someone's going to come up there and give you some blankets and some whatever the fuck else we need in this bitch. So anyway. Okay, we're at the car wash. And we have the car washes every weekend. And at first they seemed really fun to me. Because, you know, I had just started going there or whatever. And one bitch was like, bitch, it will wear off. One day at the car wash, we're just sitting there chilling, whatever. And so this girl turns around and she says, that's a pretty baby. And so I turn around. I said, that's my baby. Do you know my mom had drove to the car wash with my sister and my daughter in the car, got out the car with my baby and a diaper bag, made a scene in front of everyone. I'm tired of this shit. And you gonna watch your daughter and da-da-da. Here, you take care of her. Plumped her in my lap. Gave me a diaper bag that had a bag of Cheerios, some baby wipes, a few diapers, and a little jug of milk. And drove off in the sunset. And there I was, sitting helpless, not knowing what to do, where I was gonna go from there. Because it definitely wasn't no daycare center in that motherfucking facility. And I remember everyone was just stunned. It was like some, you know, Lifetime movie type shit. Like, damn, what the bitch gonna do now? And of all the weekends that we would have this regular staff lady work that would have known how to really help me and what to do, we had this bitch that, and I mean, when I say nobody liked her, nobody liked her. Even the people that were disliked by the residents, even they didn't like the bitch, okay? And I remember she was just as stunned too. So she had went up to make some phone calls, but I could tell she wasn't putting her heart in the situation. Like, she was just, I don't know. Like I said, no one liked her. Maybe the bitch mother left her out in the doghouse when she was a baby to sleep. I don't know. But she was one of them type bitches that I didn't feel like had too much emotion. And I remember she said, you know, well, you know, children can't stay here, right? Bitch, I know. Bitch, what is McDonald's? Yes, I know children can't be up in here. Fuck is you talking about? We up in here with a whole bunch of drug addicts. So I'm crying. I'm down in the lobby crying. And this other dude that I started fucking with, we'll do him another day. He was at the desk. I didn't start fucking with him till way after we left rehab and all that shit. He was at the desk. He was cool. Now everyone liked him. And then Brian, you know, of course, Brian, that's my little white nigga. So he's like, damn, I can't let my little black, you know, Hershey Kiss go down like this. So there was like a payphone. You could turn it on and off. You turn it off, it wouldn't ring. That, and we weren't supposed to use payphone. Really strict on when you could use the phone. He went to that phone, called his dad. He said, Dad, Ashley is in trouble. I need you to come and pick her and the baby up. Her mom came and just dropped the baby off and left. And his dad must have just said, okay, because the conversation ended very shortly after he told him that. It's one thing, you know, you just gotta have some of your white friends tell you them motherfuckers come through. So, about 40 minutes later, his dad came pick me up. And I remember after that, my little Brian had called his dad, and the counselor came down. Now that I knew I had a place to stay and shit, I was like, oh, all right, you know, I was starting to get myself together a little bit. And so she gonna come down, and she said something. I said, oh, that's okay, because I got a place to stay. She was like, excuse me? I said, yeah, someone's coming to pick me up. Here this bitch go. How is someone coming to pick you up when you guys weren't allowed to use the phone? So then she gonna turn to the dude at the desk, talking about who used the phone for her. Mom is the word, bitch, because they don't fuck with you. Nobody's telling you shit. And clearly it's an emergency situation. Like, what, you trying to get somebody in trouble for helping me not be homeless tonight? So his dad came and he picked me up and I stayed with his dad until I went to my third and final rehab. And at that one, children could stay, and they did have a daycare center. And I actually ended up graduating from that, and everything was, the first rehab I went to was still the most crucial one, the one that I really learned everything from. The other two, it was just like, fuck it, I need to stay somewhere, and I still need to get my shit together. So, of course, when I started going to that rehab, like, I wasn't seeing Brian as much. Like, I had my passes, so now at this point, me and my mom super hard talking. So I had my passes, so I would go to his house and visit him and his dad and shit. But we still didn't, see each other like that, and he would call me. And that's all I can tell you guys for now. Damn. Okay, bitch, been talking too long. Anyway, I'm so glad that you guys tuned into the Nigga Chronicles, and I hope that you guys tune in next week. Thanks for all my viewers. Thanks for all the love and all the comments and all the likes, and just keep it coming. Until next time, thank you for watching the Nigga Chronicles.